What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 54, and we start today's episode off with Mark Beavers coming to us and saying he's not happy he's not getting much first team football, which is kind of understandable because his squad role is important first team player, and he is of course our third choice centre back behind Fabricio and our scout future star Gutierrez. So I was determined to make him sign a new contract last year, which we were able to do. And, I wasn't sure if Gutierrez was going to stay as our first choice centre-back, or at least our second choice centre-back, partnering with Fabricio. But he's done so well since coming in, I've just seen no point in dropping him, So despite the fact Beavers is rated higher than Gutierrez, I'd rather play the young teenage star. So it's kind of not a real surprise to see him complain. And maybe we'll have to sell him. Maybe we'll sell him in January or the end of next year, I'm not sure. But we'll definitely consider him about shifting him on, because if he's not going to be playing games, he's going to be complaining, and when he's complaining, he's bringing the mood down. So maybe we will sell Mark Beavers, but I would like to keep him. But we'll wait and see what happens there. But anyway, we took on Hull for the first game of today's episode off in the Premier League, and the first chance came to us here, but the shot was well saved by Ben Foster. And in the 21st minute, another really good save by Foster denies Carrasco running through there, and it's still Millwall 0, Hull City 0. But from the corner, it's crossed in by Larson. It's up in the air. Foster clears it, but Kelvin then strikes, and again Ben Foster makes a really good save. So McGregor, who we got off Hull, was clearly watching this game from his goal and thinking, well, that's exactly why I got replaced. Foster's brilliant, but it was still 0-0. But in the 32nd minute here, Ings does well to beat his centre-back, the Hull City centre-back there, runs through 1-on-1, but it's a very, very, very bad challenge by Ben Foster, and the referee has no choice but to give Foster a booking and also give us a penalty with just over half an hour played. So we actually got Ben Foster sent off last season when he was playing for Southampton. I thought we might have done the same again, but this time he only gets a yellow and he stays on the pitch, so has a good chance to stop a penalty here from Brian Carrasco, of course, fresh from his injury. Did play in the last game against United, but this is his first game at home. Carrasco steps up. I didn't really put it in the green, but I did enough to put the ball past Foster. It was a really good penalty as well. Found the top corner. Foster dived the right way, but he just did about enough to put it into the back of the net and make it Millwall 1, Hull City 0. So again, the penalty was a clear one, and Carrasco stepped up and put the ball into the back of the net. He hasn't done amazing this season. Of course, last year he was incredible. Hasn't really shown too many signs he's going to repeat that form, but I was glad to see him score there. Foster couldn't keep it out, and I was also very glad to see us take the lead in this game as well against Hull City, a side who, not a bad side at all really, and they've got some decent players, and I was very pleased to finally break their resistance there in the 34th minute. But in injury time in the first half, Kelvin receives the ball down the right hand side, flicks the ball over his head, then fake Rabonas to get around Chester. Really good play from Kelvin, our Brazilian. Gets past him again with the McGiddy spin, shoots, but again Ben Foster makes a really good save despite conceding. He was having such a great game in the first half, but the referee did give us a free kick. I thought he played advantage, and it seemed like he did, but he only would have let the play go on if the goal would have been scored. Instead it was saved, so we got a free kick. I took it with Seb Larson, and Larson found the back of the net. So one penalty, one free kick, both dead balls, and both goals as well. So really good strike by Larson. That's our second free kick goal of the series, both of course scored by Sepp Larson. Well, three if you count the one we scored in the opening day when we did a set piece routine, but from a direct free kick I should say. That's our second one of the series, and again it's Larson. That's a great strike as well. Finds the top corner, and no chance for Ben Foster there. He's at full stretch, but he just can't reach the free kick. He's such an awesome player, Seb Larson. Seriously, I'm so glad he's signed a new 2-year deal with us. So that's a great free kick, and that made it Millwall 2, Hull City 0. So Hull City, who were under pressure for the first minute really. We were playing so well straight from kickoff, were 2 goals behind, and deservedly so as well. We were playing really well, and we deserved to have a 2-goal lead coming into the second half. And in the second half, Kelvin's onto the ball here in the 48th minute, takes on his man down the right hand side. He's having a great game. Berber spins past the defender, then finesses it into the bottom corner from just outside the area. It's a fantastic goal by Kelvin. The guy was playing so well, and that made it Millwall 3, Hull City 0 as he brings out the moonwalk, and the game was done here with over 40 minutes to play. So yeah, we were just in cruise control, man. It was a great strike by Kelvin. The goals are really nice as well. Obviously Larson's free kick, and then his fantastic finesse from just outside the area by by Kelvin into the bottom corner after a nice little Berber spin as well. So yeah, good goal by Kelvin. That made it 3-0 to us. So Carrasco, Larson and Kelvin had the goals, and as things stood, Hull City were in for a miserable second half, as well as the first half was quite poor for them as well. So the 3 points were basically in a bag at this point. I couldn't didn't see Hull City coming back from this, and as that goal made it 3-0, we then had the substitution here between, we had the substitution. Todd Kane and Mark Beevers came on for Fabricio and Seb Larsson. So a bit of a defensive move really. The game was done, so I thought I'd bring on some cover at the back, try and ensure we keep a clean sheet in this game. But from the corner here, Todd Kane crosses the ball into the centre, one of our substitutes, towards the other substitute, Mark Beevers. His head is cleared off the line, but it comes straight back to him, into his path, and he has an open goal, which he puts the ball into the back of the net, as easy as I like for Mark Beevers. So the substitutes combine. It's 4-0 to Mill. Hull were all over the place in this game, and that's another goal from a dead ball, this time from the corner. So one from the corner, one from the free kick, one from the penalty, and of course Kelvin's nice goal from just outside the area as well. A 4-0 victory, biggest win of the season so far, and an emphatic win as well. And it just goes to show, at home we're just basically unstoppable. We haven't lost at home yet, and we just seem to win every single game with ease. You know, it really is ridiculous, and at the worst we get as a draw. So yeah, we know really well at the moment. And the following game was in midweek against Fulham, once again at the Den. This was on Monday night, so we just played Hull on the Saturday, and now we've got to take on Fulham in the Capital One Cup on Monday night, and then we had a Wednesday night game against Marseille. So as I said at the start of the season, this is why we need a big squad. You know, that's 3 games in just a few games, and 3 games in just a few days, and it's really difficult for us to continuously rotate the squad and try and keep everyone fit. But we do take on Fulham in the quarterfinals of the Capital One Cup, and as you can see, they also rested a ton of players just like we did, because neither side really cares too much. It will be nice to win it and get to the final, get to Wembley, but neither side really cares too much if they do go out, especially not at this stage when we've still got the semi-final, 2 legs to play. But anyway, the first chance did come to Fulham. It was Kaka Nikolic who went through here. The first shot was well saved by Nyland, and the rebound shot went onto the post and out for a goal kick. So a really good chance for Fulham to take the lead there, but it was still 0-0. I thought he'd done enough, but thankfully just put the ball wide. So clearly Nyland's pressure was enough to stop him from scoring, as the score was still 0-0. And that was it for the first half. Nothing happened until the second half, when Ryan Gauld intercepted his man, went down the left hand side, crossed the ball in, and an ambitious volley from Michael Ngoo went into the stands. It was a poor one. It was going to be hard for him to keep it down though, and the score was still 0-0, and that was how the game finished. So a very poor 90 minutes worth of play here. Not many chances for either side. The game did go into extra time, which is not really what I wanted, considering the fact we had a game against Marseille 2 days later, which is far more important in the Europa League. And in the 96th minute, the first chance for extra time came here. Michael Ngoo got his head to this Camigliano cross, but he could only put the ball onto the top of the bar, and it went out for a goal kick. So that was a shame. I thought Michael Ngoo had done enough there, as he beats 2 Fulham defenders in the air to score, but sadly he didn't, and it was still 0-0. And in the 112th minute here, Scott Malone's onto the ball, finds Dongu down the left hand side, gets past the fullback, shoots from range, but it just goes over the bar. It was dipping, but David Marshall had it covered, and it was still 0-0. But in the 115th minute here, Camigliano's onto the ball again. He had a pretty decent game, to be honest, and he had a good chance here just from outside the area, but his shot just went wide. I thought he'd scored a fantastic goal with just 5 minutes to go, but sadly it did just go wide, and that's how the game finished. So 0-0 after 120 minutes of football. Such a frustrating game. Really was subpar, and after putting 4 goals against Hull just a couple of days ago, I thought we would have scored 1 goal in 120 minutes of football, but we didn't, and that meant it would go to penalties. And the first penalty was taken by us. It was Ryan Gauld, and it went miles over the bar. I didn't keep my composure. I didn't have the bar in the green, and it went miles over the bar. So Fulham with a good chance to take the early advantage here. Nelson Oliveira stepped up, but Nyland made a super save to deny him from 12 yards. Really good stop, and after 2 penalties it was still 0-0. Junior Stanislas then stepped up afterwards and calmly put the ball to the goalkeeper's right hand side. So a good finish by Stanislas. That gave us the first goal of the shootout. Brian Ruiz then stepped up for Fulham, the Costa Rican, against Nyland. Steps up and sends Nyland the wrong way, right into the top corner. Really good finish, and it's 1-1 here. But the next penalty was going to be taken by Scott Malone. Malone steps up, our left back, stutters, and he also puts the goalkeeper, well, he didn't actually dive the goalkeeper, but he did score anyway. Puts it to the goalkeeper's right and to Malone's left. That made it 2-1. Kasami then stepped up from the spot for Fulham, but Nyland made a fantastic save, wonderful dive. He now made 2 saves from 3 penalties. He was making a statement in this game. He wants to be number 1 again. Then our young striker from Borussia Dortmund on loan stepped up. He also scored. The goalkeeper must have had cement in his boots. He didn't want to dive. It was still 3-1. Kieran Richardson stepped up for Fulham next, and he sent Nyland the wrong way. So a good penalty by Richardson to keep Fulham in the game. But it did mean that if Michael and Gu scored this penalty, we would be going through to the semi-finals. And despite the goalkeeper diving the right way, and Gu finds the top corner, brilliant penalty, and we win the shootout by 4-2. So we're through to the Capital One Cup semi-finals, which is fantastic. So despite fielding the weakened side, we do make it through, and that's good news for us, as we will go into the semi-finals and we will look for our first trophy of the season, hopefully getting through those semi-final 2 legs and hopefully into the final. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like, and I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.